It was a different game tonight because certainly the second half, because the opponent pressed man-man. I just said to the guys afterwards, you're not going to be as dominant with the ball. It's not going to be a game about possession phases. I think the possession was, I haven't seen the stats, but I would imagine relatively even. So usually we're trying to dominate the ball, but when the opponent goes man-man, then obviously our build-up becomes a lot quicker because there is no spare man. We have to use the top line more, which we did really, really well. I thought Rafa was exceptional second half. I thought Wayne Frederick, when he went in as a number 10 and Paxton went wide to the left, that was a tactical change that really helped us. And then tonight, for the first time this season, we dominated the duels. There's a big focus this week. Kansas are actually number 1 in the MLS for ground duels, and we're nowhere near where we want to be in that ranking. So that was a big focus this week, making sure we come here with a required level of aggression. You need that against this team. You certainly need that against this team in their stadium. So I was really pleased how we dominated the physical aspects of the game this evening. And I would imagine our XG was through the roof because we could have scored multiple goals. If anything, with our frustration is we didn't score enough. So yeah, good night at the office.
I think it was almost 5.
Was it?
7,
Yeah.
4.8.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, in the shot, bringing you with, Coach,
Hey,
I just
man.
wanted, you talked about the lack of quality in the final third against New York. What was the difference tonight? Obviously, 4 goals. What was the difference for the team tonight?
Yeah, a little bit of space. A little bit of space. Like I said, different type of game. New York were a lot more compact, never jumped man-man. So you're always making slower build-ups, arriving organised in the final third. But there's less space to attack, whereas tonight with the opponent trying to be so aggressive with their pressing, every time we outplayed them we had big overloads, and I thought our pressure was very good tonight, especially when Wayne went in as the number 10. That really helped us get pressure on the ball, stop them dropping balls over to Calvin Harris over Miguel's head, and that gave us a lot more transition moments. So I think combination of space, but also the guys showing their personality, taking responsibility. I think one thing I will say with this group, every time we focus on something post-game, they always put it into practice the following week, and that's great for me as a coach because it shows we're adding layers as we go, and that'll be no same from this game. We'll debrief this game, analyse the bits that we should do a lot better, and then hopefully by the time we get to Toronto, we're a better team than you saw this evening. That's the idea.
Thank you. Now we'll go to the questions on Zoom. Braden Norse, your line is open.
Hey Matt, good to see you.
Hey Braden.
Thank you and congrats on the result tonight. You've believed early and often in Wayne Frederick when probably a majority of fans maybe haven't shared that same belief, but he gets that goal before halftime. He's now, got career highs in minutes, goals, assists, all the things, and it's only 5 games in. When he scores that goal, what's that moment like for you, and what is he doing continuously to earn and keep your trust?
Yeah, listen, Wayne's been excellent from the start of pre-season. I can't speak for what went before or fan opinions. I can only judge with my own eyes and the functions that I need in the team and our game model and our way of playing, and Wayne delivers those. And I think tonight is the first time I tried him as a number 10. Obviously, it was a switch that we made in game, and I just felt we were lacking a little bit of energy on the pressure in the middle of the pitch. So there was far too many occasions where they were able to turn and, as I said before, drop things over Miguel's head for Calvin's speed. So Wayne really helped us with the pressure there. His goal was pleasing, probably more pleasing for Rob Birch than me. It was a play that Rob called in the week, and we tried to design it around Wayne scoring, not from that exact action. It was more trying to get Wayne to score at the back post. But Rob said in his team meeting today, quite emphatically, that Wayne, you will score today from a corner. So he obviously knows what he's doing. So the guys were giving both Wayne and Rob a little bit of banter afterwards. But no, he was very good. I think the biggest thing for me was his energy, his pressing intensity, and tactically he's improving all the time in terms of the functions that I want within our attacking football. So he's a big player for us.
Matt Pollard, your line is open.
Hey Gaffer, thanks for the time. Can you hear me?
Hey Matt, I can hear you loud and clear.
Good stuff. Congratulations on the win. I want to ask about the 2 wingers. Rafael Navajo, I think it's 5 goal contributions in 3 games, and a lot of that has been a little bit more back to the goal, creative stuff. I'm sure a lot of things that Harry Kane could appreciate, and Darren Yapi being a direct target winger, if such a thing exists. Talk to me about just what you've seen from those 2 and what they're doing well, both in combination, but just to create offense sometimes all on their own.
Yeah, I think I said from the beginning with Rafa especially, it's a different role for him this season. Playing a lot more withdrawn from the top line, dropping in, filling spaces, using Rafa to attract defenders to the middle so then we exploit space on the wing. So me and him have had a lot of discussion, a lot of feedback, a lot of training time throughout pre-season, and also trying to make sure that we don't drop him in so far that he can't then make the crucial areas to finish the attacks, because at heart, of course, he's a goal scorer. So really pleased with his contribution tonight. I thought especially second half, it was borderline a complete performance from a striker in terms of the pressing. He produced his best ever physical metrics against New York that he's ever done in his career, and I'm sure tonight may well have topped that. We pressed incredibly well, but his link play was as good as it's been. He looked strong. Again, big focus this week. We had to be strong in the duels, strong in back to goal situations, especially against this opponent. I thought he did that really well. He brought other players into play, and like you rightly said, he was definitely trying to get Dante a goal in that second half. Very unselfish. There were many occasions where Rafa could have finished the attack, and he laid off another good pass, much in the same vein that he did for Darren Yappi against New York. So I was really pleased with the front three tonight. I know Dante didn't get his goal in the end, but I thought it was his best performance of the season by a long way, just in terms of his aura and his mentality, his positivity out there. So no, it's good building blocks, but we have to keep going.
And now we move over to Matt Wickham. Your line's open.
Coach, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Matt.
Okay, good. So, Coach, we talked in training today about the away tactics for the home games and how they worked to get 2 wins, and that you had to figure out what you were going to change on the road. What did you change to get such a dominant win tonight?
No, listen, nothing changed. Every game's different. Every team we play attacks a different way, builds a different way, finishes in the final third a different way, and then presses a different way. So it's just about, again, trying to produce another specific game plan for the opponent tactically that allows us to dominate the right aspects of the game. And we knew, I think the big shift from this one was our defensive strategy. We went a little bit more passive because we wanted KC to have a bit more of the ball, because we felt that if we could tease them into playing shorter passes on the transition, we'd have a lot more space. What I didn't want us to do was fully dominate the ball and then constantly attack against a 5-4-1. So I think that helped us, even though we had some problems tactically in the first half. So we changed the pressing strategy at half time and went a lot more with the inside unit, with Rafa and with Paxton. And then I felt the strategy was good, but we just needed more legs and energy there. So it was a case of moving Paxton to the left, and then putting Wayne as the pressing 10, which, as I said before, really helped us. That changed the momentum of the game because it stopped them breaking out. Their biggest exit route was the balls over the top to Calvin Harris. And as a line, obviously we keep a high line, so difficult situations for the guys. I thought they defended that really well. Miguel, especially in his first start. So pleased for him. But once we made those changes, then to score a goal straight off the training ground, ball out to Paxton, great underlap from Miggy, and then one-touch cross across the box for Rafa sliding in. Them things obviously make you very happy as a coaching staff. But most of our performances have had very good aspects this season. I firmly believe New York was our best performance of the season. People might think I'm crazy for saying that, but we were very poor in New York's 3 goals. Outside of that, we were very good. We just had a very poor day at the office in the final third. So there were so many good aspects in that game to build on. We didn't want to lose that. What we wanted to do was made sure we saw today a lot more devastation in the final third, a lot more responsibility, accountability, 1v1. And I thought the front guys especially, we did a unit meeting today at the hotel and challenged them to go out there and show their ability. And I thought all of them did that.
All right, we're going to go back into the room to Eamon Shaw.
Just if you could speak a bit more about Miguel Navarro tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, his first start. He's coming off the bench before in games. Can you just speak more about that and how he impacted the game and what you kind of saw out of him this week to get him this far?
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's not going under the radar, but physically we're a supreme team. I showed the guys some stats before the game. In terms of ratio of sprint distance, we're number 1 in the MLS. In terms of how you outperform your opponent, in terms of high intensity running, we're number 1 in the MLS for how you outrun your opponent. And then we're number 2 for distance behind DC. So Physically, we're in a very, very good place. So with someone like Miguel, it's very difficult to drop him in. He came in late, didn't get the same pre-season the other guys get. What we don't want to do is drop him in too early into a game model, which is such high-intensity attacking football, because then that can lead to injuries. So Miguel's had to be very, very patient. I'm sure he's been frustrated. I'm sure he wanted more minutes. But it's been a case of me observing him, and I was never going to put him in until I felt he was at the required extreme physical level that the rest of the guys are showing. And over the last 2 weeks, I could have started him the last game, because I looked at him in the build-up to that training. It was touch and go. I did think about throwing him in the previous fixture, decided against it, and then tonight, the way he trained this week was outstanding. So it felt like a really good moment to throw him in, and I had a choice obviously to make at right back, and just the way that I'd analysed that KC press, I thought it would really help having Jackson coming in on his left foot and open up balls into Rafa, which I thought we used well, or balls into Hamzat, which we used a lot in the first half, because against KC you have to go outside, back inside, and then to the wing. So that's how we'll be. There'll be it's exactly what I told the players afterwards. I'm sure Ted's frustrated. I'm sure Alex Harris is frustrated. Everyone, we have a great training culture here now. Everyone's fighting for the shirts, which I love. But I can only pick a starting 11, and then I can only make a limited number of subs. So I watched their running afterwards. The guys who didn't come on the pitch, outstanding. Now they have to come. They have an international break where some guys go away with their country, which is amazing. But the guys who stay, they have a chance. They're in front of me every day. They have a chance to make a real impression. So that's the culture we want. We're in a good spot with that.
All right, we have time for just a few more here. Braden Norris, your line's open.
Yeah, Matt, one of the big questions going into this year is, how do you get Paxton Aronson on the score sheet more? He had the brace tonight, 4 goal contributions in 5 games now. Same thing with the Wayne question. You can only speak to what you've seen since you've gotten here. But in the last couple of games, what has shifted, and how can tonight be, kind of a springboard for him?
Yeah, it's honestly nothing shifted from day one of working with Paxton. Before I even came to the club and knowing my game model, my way of playing, and then Paxton's qualities, it's a match made in heaven. So I had no doubts about that. Obviously, it's materialised in a little bit more in terms of numbers in the last couple of games, but you've had a fantastic assist against Orlando in the final pre-season game. Exactly the run I want him to make. One touch cross. Basically, if you see that goal, it's basically the goal we scored this evening, except Miguel was crossing it and Rafa was sliding in. Before it was Paxton crossing it and Rafa was sliding in. So great to see these things coming off from the training ground, but it's just a case of Paxton learning my system, my way of playing, my demands. I said to him at half-time, you've got to be much more active. He was the spare man. They were jumping in on Rafa's side, but not on Paxton's side. So when we went to the left-hand side of the pitch with Miguel and Yappy, Paxton was totally spare, but he was hanging far too wide on the opposite side of the pitch. So Yappy's never going to be able to find him. Whereas if you look at the first actions of the second half, he comes all the way across the pitch, we find him in the middle lane and he can turn, and then from there, if you get Paxton turn between the lines, things are going to happen. He's serving the wingers, they get to go 1v1. He could have had more assists tonight. Once we become more decisive with the wingers in those 1v1 situations and more of a threat in terms of cutting in and shooting, he'll get massive numbers this season. And then I liked what I saw from him on the left. Obviously I've not tried him there before, I've not even trained him there. So I can't lie and say that was the priority. The priority of that substitution was to get Wayne in the middle, but I didn't want to lose Paxton from the pitch. So Yappy came out, Pax went to the left, and then straight away you see his quality with the final pass to Miguel for the goal. So he's just got to keep doing what he's doing. He has to improve the aspects that I want him to improve. He has to improve his pressing. So he should also look at tonight and think, okay, why did the manager have to move Wayne Frederick to the middle? I can do that. I'm capable of that he can be an outstanding pressing number 10. He's at his best when he's a pressing number 10. So these are all things that he'll learn. You forget he's very young because of his experience, but he's in a great spot. We just have to keep him there.
Matt Pollard, your line's open.
Matt, talk to me about the defense kind of managing the game with yellow cards. You had 2 yellow cards to your center backs, and on another day, Dejan Joveljic, forces them into a situation where the referee has to make a decision, and then Miguel Navarro as well got a yellow card, so that's 3 of your 4 on the back line at 2-1 with 30 minutes to play. Talk to me about the tenacity, but also kind of controlling when and how to foul to take a yellow card and how to avoid it once you're on a yellow.
Yeah, I mean, it was in the back of my mind going into this game because I made such a big deal. Jules have been the centre of our week this week. knowing that just across the board I'm unhappy with us as a team from an aggression point of view. We can't rank number one for running in pretty much all metrics, but then when you arrive in the moment to assert yourself physically, you don't do it, and that's been far too often. That's been the case. It was the case against New York. They had more nous than us. They were more street smart than us. If you look at the first goal where Rob plays the wrong pass to Paxton, it's a two-handed push in the back, and Paxton moves out of the way and allows them to clear it into our box, and they score. But when Jackson Travis puts two hands on the back of Morales' back, he goes to ground and wins the free kick, which leads to their second goal. So these things we're improving as a team. Tonight we showed we can do it. I said to the guys all week, it's a choice. It's not something we need to train. This is a choice we make as a team to show up with the right level of aggression, the right level of intensity, and combine that with our football. Because I genuinely believe our football is as good as anyone in this league. So when we do those things, we look a top team. The consequence of that, of course, I knew coming into this game we'd pick up yellow cards because I'd made such a emphatic point about it. I knew the guys might overspill, which I'm happy with. I said to him again at half time, because obviously at that time Lucas and Rob were on bookings. I knew because of the controversy with our corner goal that maybe there'd be a scenario where the ref might be looking to give a second yellow card, or I knew their players would surround the referee and put pressure on him. So I encourage the guys not to put themselves in those situations. Unfortunately, Rob found himself in that moment where it could have gone a different way. So it was a no-brainer for me as soon as that happened, get Noah stripped and get Noah on the pitch. And then just hope that Lucas doesn't find himself in a similar position. So felt the guys managed it well on the whole. What I'm not willing to do at this stage, through a fear of yellow cards, is sacrifice the level of aggression and intensity, because if we want to be a consistent winning organisation, both at home and on the road, we have to show the right level of nastiness and edge to combine with our attacking football. And so I was very, very, very pleased with that tonight.